commissioner, you got the
Get stuff in that little room down there.
I'm a minute late. But I was at another commissioner responsibility.
We knew you wouldn't start without us. We're on.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Finish my note here. Okay, we'll begin with, it is Tuesday, July 9th, 2013. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And a roll call, please. I'm here.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman?
Here.
Okay, we have Ford at 10, but we also have Travis at 10. So let's start with Travis. If you'd like to present something to the board.
I give up. You gonna beat us with it or something? Maybe.
You asked.
Don't put that in the newspaper. Hello, as you may know, I am Travis Gase of Troop 444. I wanted to give you an update on my project of renovating the Seneca County Cemetery. Right now, I have made all I've lined up all the equipment and the manpower to get the project started. We have made 80 of these things, forms,
Okay.
for the gravestones, basically to keep them in line. I'll show you how they work after this. The project is to straighten and align all of the stones so that they are straight and uniform. Currently, I have raised $2,495 through letters door to door and giving presentations to the local lodges. I am planning on doing more presentations to offset costs. We were depending on the funds for the recycling grant, but as it stands right now, the concrete that will be used does not fit the required requirements. We currently lack the necessary funds to get the whole entire project done. To date, we have spent over $500 in building these forms. We estimate we need 45 yards of concrete. We need, and other expenses, we need $500 in additional lumber, $400 in miscellaneous expenses, and $4,500 approximately in concrete. I am asking for assistance in $4,000 to complete my project. If this money is approved, then we can start the project very soon. As required by BSA, all unused money will be returned back to the county. Thank you for listening. All right, I'll show you how this thing works.
Travis, you're projecting that the total cost, the $4,000 you're requesting plus the $2,400, so it's $6,400
Yeah.
is what you're projecting. And that will include 45 yards of concrete. How much is a yard of concrete?
About $100. Yeah.
$100, okay. So there's 4,500, you got 500 for additional lumber that you need, then you said $400 miscellaneous
Such as like.
that you have. So you got $5,400 there, and you've already spent 500 of the
Yeah.
24. Okay. So basically, you got a cost of a project about $5,900. And of that, you've got $2,495 that you've raised already. What, have you been to Kiwanis, Lions, JC's? Have you been to those civic organizations and asked for support?
We are planning on doing that, yes. For right now, we have only done the Sons of Anvets, but we haven't quite gotten around to doing that. We will definitely do it to offset costs, so.
The 25, or I think you said 2,499 raised to date. 500 of that is what you've already spent.
Yes, on
Okay.
these ADPs.
You're right, on your lumber.
Just throwing out food for thought here, and a lot of times I engage my mouth before my brain, but noted for that. But is it something that my fellow commissioners would consider upfront? And the reason I suggested maybe we upfront fund this, and I don't know if it's legal or not, because of the element of you want to do this in the summertime and, you know, where the weather's good and so forth and so on, and that in lieu of additional contributions, you know, can be generated through these various civic organizations, and hopefully that we can get, you know, a large percentage of what the commissioners would upfront. And again, I don't know if it's legal, if we can do that or not, or so forth, but, you know, it always comes down to money. It always comes down to money.
We wouldn't be able to accept donations back.
No, we can't, well,
I mean, if
but
we gave
if
them money,
they
he
would
wouldn't pay
solicit
it.
donations, then they would reimburse us for, and again, the only reason I would suggest that is you could go ahead and start your project and do it in the summer months in a timely manner. But again, your work would really just start then, is our hope is that you can go out to these other civic organizations and solicit funds that you could
Yes.
reimburse back. I mean, if we had a list of the organizations that what you plan to go to, and, you know, kind of a detailed plan that, you know, that you would go through this and solicit funds from these organizations. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out, food for thought here.
Actually, I think what the intent is, if the county could upfront the money for them, Travis is planning on doing more presentations and all that stuff, and then when the project is complete, any unused funds would just be turned back over to the county. So, you know, if we're asking for $4,000, then we would hope that we'd get most of that money returned back to the county.
That would be my hope, and
And that's, you know, that's a requirement of BSA.
Yeah.
That all money goes back to donors, so.
We need just to verify that legally we can do that, but if it is reimbursement for the supplies, I
And-
would think that that's, like I said, we've got to check
Right,
to make sure
and
that
the
that
reason we're making-
flow, money can flow that way, but if it can, I don't know why that would be a problem, if legally they say it's okay.
The reason we're making a request, that way allow us to get the project started now.
Right.
Because, you know, once the fall hits and he goes back to school, then it really gets
Yeah,
difficult for
there's no time.
everybody.
I applaud your efforts, young man.
Yeah, thank you for all your work.
Yeah.
We could probably do that from, well, you could find some fund, whether it's contingencies or some other fund.
Yeah.
I agree with Commissioner Stacy. First, we have to look at legally, can we do it? I would like to see a detailed list from you that I'm gonna contact this organization, this organization, this organization, and so that we have some reasonable assurances that there's a strong effort being made.
And that's definitely doable.
Yeah.
And as well, we might be able to think of some groups maybe that you didn't think of, we could help you, you know, give you some more groups to talk to. We might have some ideas.
The Old Port Peach Growers.
There you go.
Okay, well, thank you.
Scott,
well-
excuse, I have a suggestion for your lumber. We throw an awful lot of train dunnage away out to my company, and you probably just give that to you. Save you some
Is it
money.
2x4s?
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Better probably.
They're a little warped and so forth.
If you're cutting
What
them.
what we need now, Fred, and everything had to be square and straight, or they won't hang plumb. In the same way, Mr. Welly suggests we use a track form, so we need, 16-foot 2x4s, so that when you're pouring it and you look down, it has the look that it's been done right. That's what-
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we don't have anything.
All right, well, let us check with our legal folks, and if we can do that, it sounds like the board's willing to do that. So
Okay.
we'll get back with you. I think we could be able to get back with you next week,
Yeah.
Chris.
Oh, yeah.
And Travis, if you could give us a list of what your plans are, of organizations to contact. Because again, as Commissioner Stacy we may be able to even recommend some further ones, once we know the list. And it gives you kind of a checklist when you start contacting these groups.
All right. I can get that to you as soon as possible.
We can also give you a list of all the places that he's contacted by letter. You know, Travis has sent out, I think, 106 letters
Oh, wow.
to lodges and businesses and all that stuff as well. So we can show what he's done so far, and then plus future ones that he's planning on doing.
Both are helpful to the future, is the ones that we would certainly most interested in, because that could help defray some of the county's
He's
contribution towards this.
He's worked hard so far.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and we would have more young men like you. I'd rather invest money in you than jails.
Don't tell the sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you for
Nice
these.
job.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. We also have the Black Swamp Conservancy here to talk to us today. I assume that's where you folks
Yes, sir.
represent?
Yes. Thanks for having us. I'm Rob Crane, I'm the Executive Director of Black Swamp. This is Chris Collier, he's our Farmland Preservation Program Manager. We're a nonprofit regional organization based here in Northwest Ohio, and we work to protect farms and natural areas in perpetuity. Most of our work is through conservation easements, which is a voluntary agreement that we enter into with a landowner to protect a farm as a farm, a wood as a woods, a wetland as a wetland. And we've been very active in this community, especially with the agricultural easement purchase program. It comes out of the state of Ohio's Department of Agriculture to help protect the agricultural base of Seneca County. Of course, it is our #1 industry in Ohio and here in Seneca County, so it's very important. We are sponsoring applications this year for the program for 5 landowners here in the county. And we have a resolution we'd ask you to sign acknowledging the applications and supporting them. There's no match money from the county. We're not asking for any money, just your support for these applications.
And we have done that in the past. I don't know if the board's willing to do that again now.
And these go through their townships as well?
Yes, they've already been through the townships.
So they've been through the townships?
Yeah, we have applications in Pleasant, Liberty, and Hopewell, and all 3 have supported the applications.
What kind of funds are available from the, just information standpoint, from the state? Because I was first informed a little bit about this. I didn't know that it existed, this land
This is
process.
under-
What kind of funds are available from the state for these types of projects?
This is under the umbrella of the Clean Ohio program, which supports brownfield redevelopment, rails to trail projects, park development, and then this is the leg that's farmland preservation. This year, correct me if I'm wrong, they're putting out $2.3 million in total statewide. Northwest Ohio, our organization has been given a $254,000 allocation. We then reapply those to garner federal funds to stretch the state dollars even further.
So
we
the feds
expect-
also contribute
Yes.
to this process then?
Yeah, we expect that we can match every state dollar with $3 in federal funds.
Is it up to each individual sponsor like Black Swamp to go after that federal match?
It is.
So that stays within your area?
It does. It stays here in Northwest Ohio.
And the farmers themselves then fill out this application to,
Chris does most of the work.
well, I mean,
but
they.
it is a lengthy
technically
process.
they
Yeah.
apply, yeah.
Do you solicit them or do they solicit you?
We have an open application period, so anyone can come to us, and we advertise it on our website, and we send out a press release. But we also have, it's a very competitive program, it's very hard to get into, and we do target the folks that we think will score best under the state's scoring criteria, and reach out to them as well.
And the fact that Seneca County is the highest county in the state with the number of farms, we just had an update on this from Denise King
Yeah.
at our meeting, CCAO, Agriculture and whatever committee a couple weeks ago. Is that because Black Swamp was aggressive and on top of it working with these farmers, or just, I mean, it's astronomically higher than the other areas.
It is. I think that we've done a very good job.
Okay.
We're very proud of our farmland preservation efforts. Seneca County also has some of the best soil in the state of Ohio. And if we're gonna look on a statewide level of where we need to be preserving agriculture, you know, it's right here.
All right, so you have a resolution for us, or we just sign the forms, or what?
Yes, sir.
I have resolutions.
We have copies of those. I think you emailed them to us.
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay,
think I
okay.
made a modification of this one. so-
Oh, okay. We'll do that one.
Mistake on it, so there's 4 copies of this. Don't know.
So that means there's 4 prospective landowners?
There's 5 that we're working with.
Okay.
We just brought a
We just
a
brought
copy so
multiple
everyone
copies.
could read
Okay,
through it.
okay.
We only require 1 back.
And again, this is the application process for them. They won't know, and
Yeah.
they'll hear later if they got in or not.
Right, we're working through the scoring now.
Specifically, we have a resolution for the acknowledgement of the agricultural easements for 2013 with 5 members for the Black Swamp Conservancy. For your,
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved that we, that we will allow these folks to continue through this process. And
Is there a second?
I'll second. I specifically didn't, because I reluctantly, after understanding a little bit about the program, I reluctantly accepted.
Okay.
we had, well, since we can have discussion, right?
Yep, that's right.
We had a lot of discussion of this on that committee that I sit on, for the County Commissioners Association, because there was, obviously that committee, as most of us have agricultural backgrounds that are sitting on, that's why our interest is there, and come from areas, our counties, it's the #1 industry, or just about. And, there is some, mixed feelings on some of this, of why do this have to happen this way? Why do we have to, pay a producer to keep their land in production, or as, farming, farm ground, if it's good, they should want to do that and so forth. But the program is what it is, and it's available, and we gotta respect the fact that at least for our area, we've got the folks of the Black Swamp, looking at this, and like I said, it's a program that's statewide, and, it exists. And now, if it comes out of the state budget, and whether somebody was gonna tell me to go fight for it in the state budget, that's another story.
Yeah.
But the
It's kind
fact
of-
is, it exists,
It's a
and.
double-edged sword. It's good on some, good certainly for the landowners and for agriculture. Absolutely, I totally support that. We need land to be able to grow things so that we can all eat, but also it can potentially hurt economic development. So that's why as I said, I accepted, but I reluctantly agreed to it.
And if the land, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I have one day of training on this. But if the land is in a key economic development potential area, they don't get a lot of points, right?
Oh, we wouldn't even apply.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Everything we do
So,
is.
if it's sitting somewhere that is key because it's right at I-75 or wherever it might be, they're not gonna score well or be an applicant, because they wouldn't want to impede, which is why the trustees and ourselves review this, am I correct, that we don't want to say, well, I'm not gonna approve that because that land will, infringe upon future economic development.
We work with the planning.
These
commission,
locations aren't gonna do
And every parcel that we submit is designated as agricultural preservation under the land use plan here. in
But
the
it
county.
stays there from now to eternity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so 50 years from now, I remember years and years and years ago, looking over my father's shop, and Westgate Village wasn't there, and that was all farmland out there, but things changed. So, okay, I think I got my point across. I agree with it, but reluctantly. Support
Okay,
it.
we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Zoller,
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes. Okay, let's sign them, and then can they keep them?
They'll take, yeah, theirs back with them.
Okay, and
We'll keep
then
ours.
they can be free to
Yep.
go on their way. Thank you for your time,
Appreciate your support.
working with our landowners.
I get my blue pen out for this. They told me I can't sign it.
Oops, I just signed them in black. I took the blue pen.
I have to take your black pens away.
If you're curious, those are the names there.
This one's missing a last name. I'm gonna guess it's King, John and Mary Lou. The last-
You got signed two
The last name's
places?
not on here, just so you know.
Oh, no, yea or nay?
Yeah, it's on the bill.
And I doubt that their deed reads that way, it probably has their last name in it, but it's missing.
I hope their deed has their last name.
Watch, I got some water
Oh,
there. My glass is sweating.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a great
Nice seeing
day.
you again.
Have a good day.
Can you stop the rain?
All right, let's go back up to the top here then, sign our journal, and is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as outlined.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Whitmer?
Yes. Is there a reason we couldn't do that by voice vote in the
Oh,
future?
never mind.
Just by eye, all in favor, yeah. Pretty much.
Fine with me.
Okay.
That's
I'll
fine.
try to remember to
Let's
do
shorten
that.
this thing up.
All right,
Streamline it.
okay.
Government is the most efficient.
Old business, Mrs. Wilson?
One thing I wanted to bring up this morning, Job and Family Services has asked, and we included it in our CDBG application for their parking lots, but they were secondary on
Yes.
the list. They're wanting to know what they can do. They want to proceed with it. The county does put money aside for their foster children that they have been excellent on not using the full amount, that they wondered if they could offset and go ahead and do the parking lot and just not request that full amount. Or if you guys were wanting to hold and see if these projects would go through, because we did put it on as a secondary project if the other projects didn't go through.
And by that email I saw, there were some answers they needed on some of those projects where you had ranked, correct?
I think so.
So if it didn't have that appropriate study, there's nothing they're gonna be able to do now about it, is
Right,
there?
and then we'll
So
have to
that,
go to.
then ours would move up.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought,
One of the projects is in,
yeah, there were several, under all three of the grants, I believe, because Bloomville was under the other program and
Right.
Bettsville was under, but there was things that said that the study that Bettsville used was too old of a study. It was
Was too wide?
too old of a study or something that they used. It has to be within the last 3 years. And that was part of the grant application process that they based some data on.
okay.
And so it was indicating that it therefore if they don't have the newer study, I'm assuming it's gonna get kicked out or score low. I don't know. But there was several of them that there was questions on. And I don't know if that's normal process, if this is just, the fine tooth comb and they catch those, correct them, and everything flies, I don't know.
Yeah, I
But-
don't know. Maybe we
That's
better
true.
have them wait just a little bit.
Okay.
How long would it, we're in July now.
It made it sound like the answers on those grant funds, we were just copied on that, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It made it sound like the turnaround was needed pronto.
Immediately. Yeah. I can call Jill to make sure, see if she's followed through with,
Yeah, when did they get final approval for those grants?
they were doing by,
Would,
The end of
June, the end of June, but when is the final approval where you know that you got them or not?
Well, they've got them, but now they're trying to work through actually doing the project. Because we awarded it, but now to actually do the work.
Well, yeah, we awarded it, but we
They
just
still have to
awarded that
fund
the
it.
grant
That's true,
application went
that's
to
true.
Right.
Columbus.
Was our
Now
priority.
Columbus has gotta
Yeah,
decide
Yeah.
if our
if ours
project is
are worthy
important.
of it, And,
I'm gathering that they usually can start on these projects by September, or October, from what some of the folks I talked to when I was learning about the process. So I'm guessing they look at, by August, sometime in August, maybe giving us your final, these projects are approved.
yeah, my feeling is same as Commissioner Wagner's there, is that I would suggest that Job and Family Services, let's wait
Okay.
until we determine if these are viable, course, I don't know, it doesn't make any difference, because we can't reapply for them. Well, no, we
No,
put
it's-
them as
it's our
secondary.
alternates.
They
are
They're
Alternate,
secondary.
those
So
are
they
alternate,
automatically
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, so if those other ones get moved out, that
Yeah,
one will move
yeah,
up.
I would suggest that we would wait.
If we know by the 1st of August or something, we could probably still get that paved yet this year.
Okay.
Grable can move pretty fast.
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
if it needs to.
They don't shut the blacktop plant down usually till in November,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
It's gotta stop raining for,
Okay, any other old?
Nope, that's all I.
Nicole? Mrs. Owens? Okay, great. Let's move on to new business.
New business, I have a supplement to the permanent appropriation for the SFY 14 Community Corrections Fund 181, putting $12,401.30 into salaries, $500 into supplies, $6,663.50 to contract services, $225 to other expense, $1,426.15 into Medicare, $250 into HSA, $1,080 into hospitalization, and $2,233 into PERS, for a total of $24,778.95. I have an appropriation adjustment within the general fund, moving $1,960 from workers' comp to supplies. This is the final for our copy paper that we needed to order. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations within the DARE Fund 116, putting $1,000 into supplies. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the general fund 2013, putting $8.61 into other expense. Just says it's for clerk of courts. It was a bookkeeping error, just a shortage in the line. And an appropriation adjustment within the general fund, moving $2,603.67 from contract services to equipment. This is the request of the sheriff's department. I have an agreement with, help me pronounce this, VAISALA, Vasala Incorporated, for the Seneca County Airport AWAS maintenance agreement.
What is that?
The automated weather,
Oh, it's
Pardon?
automated weather alert system.
that's at our airport. We put that in, I want to say 2006, 2007?
So what do we have to update it, or the maintenance agreement?
Just a maintenance agreement, yep. I have an agreement with Renson Associates for the Tier 1 assessment of the former underground storage tank system located at the Seneca County Courthouse Annex. I have a resolution establishing the Harrison Registry Fund.
Arson.
Arson? I didn't want to say arson.
it's the arsenal.
Yeah, 229. Let's see. I do have a couple extras. I have a resolution authorizing contract agreement with Warner Mechanical for the HVAC energy efficient upgrade project at various county buildings. This is, we bid that out for the energy upgrade system and just now got all the final details worked out on the
Okay.
contract to get that.
That is for the control portion of the.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have one for the airport. I have a resolution authorizing the FY 2013 Ohio Airport Grant for the removal, project number 1307, on behalf of the Seneca County Airport. The girls did put a note on this just so I would let you guys know. We normally do federal grants. We've done state grants for the airport before. Theirs is a 90-10 match, so they cover 90, but they've included language, and I talked to Brad this morning. Basically, they're saying that ODOT, for some administrative or legislative reasons, can pull the funding, and we would be responsible for the funding. Brad says that this is administrative, just something didn't get signed right, something didn't get approved right. The way I read it was more like if they decided they didn't want to fund it after the fact, then they could pull out at any time. But Brad assures us that that's never happened, but I did want to mention that was in there. Just because the girls never remember seeing it before, and the prosecutor said he didn't remember seeing it before, but we usually do federal instead of,
So this is a
State
grant we're
grants.
applying for?
yes, this is the application for the removal of the trees out there.
Okay.
Total cost of the project, $55,000. Again, our portion is the 10%,
Okay.
but we have to front it, and it's a reimbursable grant, so.
That'd be about running out of trees to take out.
I would think so.
Taking out trees as long as I can remember.
Don thinks he's grown back.
Yeah,
Never let us spray
exactly.
'em.
Yeah.
Thinks he's spite.
So, just wanted to make sure you guys knew that was in there. He says it's, somebody's having a,
So we have a wedding or something?
I don't know.
You'd be surprised flying in there on a windy day, those trees look awful close.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah.
So that's all the resolutions I have.
Okay, is there a motion for those?
So moved that we
Seconded.
approve those.
Okay, any discussion on any of them? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Whitmer?
Yes. All right. Any more new business you can think of?
Just a couple things I think you guys may already be aware. Board of Elections is requesting a meeting on August 19th at 5 o'clock.
I think we all responded back to them saying we could come. so
Okay, all right.
That is their meeting, but we will all attend their meeting on the 19th of August. They would like to show us their space and how challenged they are there to meet all their responsibilities.
And we received, received notice that our law librarian, Lisa Russell, is advancing her career and has decided to move on and formally submitted her letter of resignation. So we wish her the best, and I
We
think
are-
the law library is
Yeah,
working
we are
to.
reconvening a meeting for law library. One, to assess the department and the validity to continue with that, or if that could be operated more under internships from the criminal justice system out of Tiffin University. So we're looking at various options. We have various meetings set up with the lawyers and judges. I'm trying to assess the value of that department.
Okay. And I did get we may have to put money in place for this. Tanya gave me an invoice for weed control at the airport. I don't remember ever getting it before, but I did talk to him this morning, and previous board had requested that he make sure the areas, the homes we had to tear down or they've moved them, tore down those 6 lots that we had moved. He had brought it to the board before about maintaining it, cleaning it up, and that's what he says he used the weed control for, was those 6 lots plus both sides of the runway. So now he's requesting, like I said, we'd never paid it before, but I do vaguely remember the previous board telling him we needed to keep those lots clean because it's a nice neighborhood over there, and left him in charge of that, and he sent us an invoice for that. So
What's the amount of what is the amount? of
$2,106, and he
The
said
weed killer?
54 acres of weed control. It's up and down both sides of the, and I thought he said that was roughly 40 acres. That I don't know acres, and so your judgment on the size is it's going to be better than mine. But he said about 40 of it was for the runway, which we of course are
It's ours.
ours. The runway's ours, but those lots are ours as well. We didn't turn those over to him. We just previous board had asked him to keep it clean. I didn't know before this that it was coming, so otherwise I'd asked beforehand, so.
Is that something we need action on today, or? is that-
We'll have to put money in place for it, so I can bring it up when we get appropriation adjustment or something around, so.
And is that for the year?
Yes.
That'll be.
Yep.
Because it doesn't stop raining, they're gonna keep going.
Hopefully you didn't waste all that with all the rain here.
Any other new that you can think of?
The only other new business, Fred asked me to contact the fair. Ribbon cutting is the 22nd at 8 a.m. I talked to them this morning and they are sending out letters today. So the 22nd at 8 a.m. is ribbon cutting for the Seneca County Fair.
Well, that's probably the
You
Monday.
put that in the
It's a Monday, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You put that in.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will respond to Mayor Keckler so he knows as well, because I think he was the one that asked Fred for it.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I'll let him know. And I think that's all I have.
All right, Howard, is there anything?
I do not.
Okay, Mr. Ziller?
Just kind of an update on the coalition. I don't think I made reference to that last week, but the three commissioners, Ottawa, Sandusky, Seneca, we had a meeting in Ottawa last Friday. Friday before last, I'm screwed up, but we are requesting a meeting with ODOT in Bowling Green, that we're going there to start the application for track one, or for the track process, and we're hopeful with ODOT's input that we can elevate us up to higher up, because they start with track 3, track 2, track 1, and track 1 means it's shovel ready, so we're trying to get it up high, up as high as we can on the track process, so that when, after the Nexus funds are spent and clears off everything that's in track 1 now, that hopefully we can be the next phase of the track process. This is a long, tedious process that we'll have to reapply every year, but hopefully with input from ODOT that we can keep this process moving, so that in the period of 4, 5, 6, 7 years that we can actually start seeing some major improvements done on the 53 corridor between Route 23 and Route 2. So it's, when does tomorrow start? But it starts today. And unfortunately, it doesn't go as fast as anyone would like us to, but I'm pleased with this coalition, and with the 4 counties being united. I believe we have a stronger voice at ODOT and in Columbus, so we're starting the process.
Thank you. Nicole, do you have any? I had one thing that we just need to talk about next week's schedule. Right now, we have work session at 9:30, board at 10, and Wolf Creek at 10. And obviously, that isn't gonna work. I don't wanna be late for the Wolf Creek. I'd like to be there 10, 15 minutes early. That's gonna be what was gonna be the final hearing out at Wolf Creek. Now it's just gonna be an update and figuring out of when the next final hearing will be. But I'd like to be there 10, 15 minutes early, because I just think that's out at the fairgrounds.
And didn't we, last meeting, we just had our meeting out there, the whole meeting out there? We just went into session out there. But I think we didn't
Did
have a
we?
work session though. But we did all the work, Wolf Creek stuff first, and then we did our resolutions. Didn't we do that out there?
Right after it.
Right after that?
I can't remember if we did that or if we came back and did session later in the day.
We have a couple things later in the day, Homeland Security, which I don't have to go to. I normally go to that sometimes in the coordinators meeting, which you sometimes go to.
Yeah.
Could we do something earlier? Could we move everything up an hour earlier and do like a work session at 8:30 and board at 9 and then be out there by morning?
But we don't.
I'm a morning person. Or do you want to?
You can help me pick peaches that morning, because that's
Do
gonna
you
tell
want
you
to
when you're
not
gonna.
do the work session that week? I'm open for suggestions, I just want, I think the Wolf Creek thing needs to be
Our focus when we go out
our
there.
focus, yeah.
Unless we have it afterwards out there, but we don't, the thing is, we won't know how long
Yeah, yeah.
that's
And-
gonna take.
Could we just not have the work session and start board at 9 o'clock instead of 10?
Yes.
That would be my feeling.
That's
for
what I would
next
say.
week.
Are you gonna be here?
We don't have anybody scheduled
Yes,
for the work
next,
session.
yeah, I am for that.
Not
Okay,
that I know
okay,
of.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, if it's Friday, I'm gonna be going.
okay, Friday, doesn't matter.
Work session.
Okay, so board is at not, we would do board at 9?
Do board at
next
9.
Tuesday?
And
Okay.
And just forego the work session. If we don't, I mean, those are nice, but if we don't have anybody scheduled, we're not gonna be offending
Would that
anybody.
be technically considered just because of my
No,
agenda
it
thing?
would not.
Okay. Okay.
You're real
Okay, so the
technical.
commissioner meeting will be at 9 o'clock next Tuesday.
Yeah, say if
Here,
that
just
works
don't
for the
wanna be
board, at here.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna yell at you.
Well, and that way you don't have to worry about your,
You'd be surprised.
well, then you don't have to worry about your reporting and all that. Otherwise, you have to take all that out there.
Yeah, and
So if
she
we do that
does,
here, you won't have to
anyway,
do
she
it.
takes the recording out.
For the hearing.
For the hearing, but,
That's just the new little computer we have out there, like what we took to Attica.
and you might, somebody have to mention to maintenance to get that kind of set up for the chairs and stuff for that morning.
Okay, so we got, 10 o'clock is Wolf Creek out to the fair,
Yeah.
fairgrounds. 9 o'clock is commissioner meeting here, and we're gonna forego next week a work session.
You guys will change it on here, right?
Yep.
And we can bring up anything the board do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Work session anyway.
I think these meetings are informal enough that there's input from the community that,
Which brings me to the next point. Any public comment? Okay, do we have an executive session that's being requested for personnel, is that? Okay. So we're gonna have a brief executive session for personnel, that there would be no action then afterwards. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
seconded.
Okay, a roll call.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner?
Yes, okay, we will be in executive session at 10:43. Thank you all for coming.